introduce yourself if you like to, and simply start at the beginning, how you got into veganism, when it was, and then how it unfolded.
My name is Constantino Andriakinis. I also have a little YouTube channel myself called Kingdom of Gods 1212. Veganism, I started getting into it more in 2017. I had a really bad injury with my spine because I was a mover for an odd 10 years on and off. Did a lot of hard labor in my life. I'm 29. And so I got injured. I was at a MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, Florida, doing a move for a person who's in the military, Army, Navy, Air Force. I'm not sure. They pretty much kind of go all over the place. So this move was pretty big. It was kind of cold and whatnot, but I started moving everything. Everything was fine. It was a three-man crew, and basically just started doing everything normal. I was eating uh, kind of like an omnivore diet,
Hmm.
and wasn't really uh, eating too much meat or anything like that, or cheeses or anything. But I was eating, you know, kind of junk food more or less, because moving is like really hard too on the body. But so I started moving, and I heard like pops in my spine on my right side, and it was like three pops. And so I never went to the hospital, even though I should have. I was very, really dumb and ignorant, arrogant to myself. And I just kind of went through the suffering and basically started exploring the next month on trying out the vegan diet. And it was like April of 2017. So I started looking more into the vegan diet, because I'm like injured now. I need to heal myself. I need to get better somehow, and meat's not going to help. That was not like what I would think. I need to detox my body because I was smoking pot too a lot at the time, and I need to just basically eat more of a vegan diet. So basically, I basically in April I turned into a vegan, like straight into it, dived right into it. Um, you know, beans, lentil soup, uh, salads, fruit, not much fruit, but fruit. Tried to stay on more of as jam-packed protein, like from seeds, nuts, legumes, as much as I could stay on that type of protein-packed fiber diet as I could. And for about 2 weeks, I stayed on it. It didn't, it didn't really feel too good. Um, and I ended up in the hospital with pleurisy, also known as the devil's grip, also known as 10 times, 20 times worse than pneumonia. Benjamin Franklin, the President of the United States, former President of the United States, died off of a pleurisy. If you have a severe case, it's very deadly. I realized the vegan diet wasn't working for me again. Maybe a month later, I dived back onto it, and this has been ongoing for like the past 3 years almost. Just like 2 weeks, 1 month, diving on and off the vegan diet, trying to give it full faith, and nothing's working. Like it's not really working. I feel more bloated. I feel more, fatigue, despite the fact that I have like a damaged right spine. Like even still, like I have probably a mild case of uh, cervical bulging discs, disc degeneration in my, not because of veganism, but it hasn't helped. Like, so disc degeneration in my thoracic spine. And before all this time too, in 2017, I was kind of more on the vegan diet because for a long time, even up until around 2013 and after, and even before, I wasn't really eating meat. I was kind of more of a vegan than I was an omnivore because I was eating like I would believe in salads a lot. I'd want to eat salads. I got really skinny. I, plus working for as a mover for a moving company. I wasn't eating that much protein. I needed to get at least 100 plus grams of protein every day. I needed to drink much more water than I did. Uh, and I wasn't doing any of that. And like I said, I was a mover for like 10 years. I wasn't a strict vegan since 2013, 2014, but I was eating meat like once a week, and I was more closer towards a vegan, even though I wasn't a vegan.
Where do
So
you
that,
think that
so
comes from? Why do you think you did it?
because of the thought of hurting animals, killing something and eating it, this poor animal, blah blah blah. Like I was brainwashing myself into feeling bad for animals, and even though like even before 2017, I was watching these documentaries, and there was like veganism was like blowing up, around 2012, like it started to like pop up.
Hmm.
And so like I started to see things because I've been on social media. I've had Facebook since 2006. So I've been on Facebook, and my most my current Facebook has been since 2008, and there's many times I want to delete it, but it's like, what's the point? If I can't handle what's on social media, then I can't handle anything really. But if I can take it, I can make it. So it's also like a training type of thing. But it happened really from watching things like on Facebook and memes and just videos people I would be friends with, just posting things like in conventional farming, in conventional farms, like a guy beating up a cow or a guy kicking a pig. So I started to like not brainwash myself or brain control myself, but more, not even suppress myself, but like it's more like just little by little, I was getting to myself. Like I was letting myself feel bad.
What's the longest time you were vegan at a time?
At a time, 3 months,
Hmm.
3 months, three and a
And
half months,
altogether, approximately.
approximately. If I were to put all the days together, it probably would be 5 years.
Hmm.
But that's not like a consistency, and I accept it, of course. I'm not saying that.
You were saying that you got bloated. What other symptoms did you have? What's the reason you always went off it, that you couldn't stick to it?
The reason I always went off of it was because it just, despite having injuries in my spine, I should have not felt as bloated as I was. And honestly, I do believe a part of it is got diagnosed like 3 weeks ago at the hospital. I got a CT scan and I got a diverticulosis. And diverticulosis is it's like a large intestine, basically like little bubbles on the outside of your large intestine, and they don't really go away. You can't heal them because this is the modern way of you can't heal even cancer. But so I think a part of me getting diverticulosis is also a part of being vegan, eating like I would literally like eat beans for breakfast. You know, I would literally eat oatmeal for breakfast. I would literally eat lentil soup for breakfast, and just get super bloated and like almost feel like I'm gonna die, like because of it just made me feel really bad.
Hmm.
And I shouldn't have felt that way too. Like even when I was the 2 weeks vegan, the first 2 weeks I went vegan, I got pleurisy. I almost died.
What made
And
you give up in the end, that you didn't even try it again?
what I gave up in the end was basically now about almost a month now ago. And like I'm like I literally I just got done eating a raw uh, New York strip steak.
Hmm.
And I've been eating raw eggs for like the past month. But the past 2 days I've been eating raw steak. I've been trying to like get away from eating rare steak, and I'm trying to like make sure it's very red and comes from a decent source at least. but I also try to eat kefir and whatnot. But what made me stop in the end was just I got tired of feeling bloated and just not really getting, just realizing I'm really stupid, basically.
Hmm.
That's really what made me stop at the end, was just realizing how stupid I was. Because I ignored all the information I knew about, you know, beans. I even tried to go as far as like saying, you know, like really stupid, like, hey, even Neo in the Matrix ate porridge and he survived and he could stop machines at the end of the Matrix movie off porridge. You know what I mean? Like, come on, veganism is the way. And it's like, I was stupid because no, it's not. Even that though, think about that. Nobody really talks about that. Neo eating porridge in Zion, and that's a brainwash. Like we got brainwashed, but we don't talk about that. That's porridge now. You can't talk bad about porridge, and but people don't talk about it, but yet people don't realize how vegan that was and how maybe possible it was good to survive on and to actually grow and become a powerful being. But even that, it's not true. It's just another way we got brainwashed.
That's interesting. I
And
didn't even know that. Did
yeah,
you
it's
also try any supplements or superfoods during your vegan time?
yeah, I still have some chlorella. I take curcumin for my pain. I take maybe a tablespoon of curcumin for pain right now. But I take it with, kefir.
Did you take anything like B12?
B12. Oh, one time I spent like 1,000. I've spent like $1,000 on supplements before for just like two months, 3 months, 4 months. Like I've gone crazy on supplements before. I've pretty much I've done like everything and more than people like know about. Like B12 is like nothing. I've taken B12 and that was like nothing. Like that's like I've taken like ormus, you know what I mean? Bamboo extract.
Mhm.
People don't know about those things. So yeah, I've taken a lot of supplements, testosterone boosters, testosterone um, releasers, because you have testosterone, like dormant testosterone, like you have dormant cells, um, or free testosterone. And I've taken a lot of supplements. I've taken a lot of supplements, and it doesn't. I can't say that it hasn't done something, but it doesn't do 100%. It's never going to do 100% because it's if the gut is damaged. I realize that too. Like I used to be very big on probiotics, and that's completely non-vegan. And I stopped doing that because the vegan, and and I know that if your gut's not healthy, like if you don't have a good gut, how are you supposed to create all the everything, norepinephrine, serotonin, dopamine, cannabinoids, even the opioids, the more reproduction of healthy microbiomes, the 1,000 strains of it, the biophotons, the the mitochondria is keeping them healthy. Like your gut's everything. That's why it's called the immune system.
How do you see the future of veganism now as an ex-vegan?
The future of veganism right now, as an ex-vegan, the future is very scary. It's very scary, but it's also very like really interesting to see how it's going to plan out. It's definitely a depopulation thing, and right now the way I see it is kind of like the vegans are going to kind of pretty much turn into zombies, and they're going to start losing their mind and going crazy and getting really sick, and they're either going to like not turn into a flesh-eating zombie, or they're going to turn into a corpse zombie, a dead corpse zombie. So that's how I see, honestly, veganism, and it takes quite some time to get to that point. But we might witness it in our lifetime because it's kind of happening with the vegans right now anyways. Like the meat eaters, the omnivores are getting by. The omnivores, they're getting by. they're not optimizing their health. But the vegans, they're going down a path they really don't realize right now that well. It's it's really sad. It's messed up, and it really is true. The vegans, they don't care. Like, I'm an animal. Like, who cares about me? I I don't really think anybody cares about me as an animal. Like, so why are you talking about the animals that you don't? It's not like you walk up like vegans. This is what vegans are right now, and in the future they're going to continue. They walk up to an animal and they pet it, they caress it, they give it empathy. Oh, this poor animal, or oh, I love dogs and cats, and then it's like, what about me? Or what about the disabled guy in the crutches, or the cane or the wheelchair? You don't go up to that person and say, and that's the presence of veganism. You don't have any vegans doing that. Like, if there are any vegans doing that, they're going to go to protest before they go to that. Anyways, let's put it that way.
Hmm.
That's the current situation of veganism, and the future is just as I said. They're either going to become a corpse or a flesh-eating zombie. You know.
Interesting. Anything else you would like to add? Any experience? Something you learned during the time?
Uh,
Something you want to
I
say
got.
to vegans watching, maybe?
Yeah, just do your research. I know there's a lot of vegans right now. They're not going to do the research, but if there are any vegans that are watching this, you have to do your research. Like, you really have to do a lot of research, and don't ignore your signals in your body. Like, and above all things, stay pure. Because a lot of people right now, many people can't stay pure. And that's the problem too. Like, being a carnivore is one thing, but you have to stay pure too. Like, being vegan is one thing, but you have to stay pure too. Like, there's vegans that are drinking, smoking, doing lots of things they shouldn't be doing, and it goes for everybody, and that's another problem. So don't ignore your body, and if you stay pure, basically, the point is you will be able to read your body. You will be able to be body aware. And that's a problem. People, they're going vegan and they're deteriorating from the inside out, and they're losing their body awareness. Their awakenedness is being, and they're ignoring it too, but they're losing it more and more as days go by. So I think that's the best advice I can give at this moment right now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you too.